everyone, this is Sybil, your skin fitness expert. On this channel, you'll find beauty tips and tools to keep you looking your very best on the outside while helping you feel amazing living inside your skin every day. Today's video is I'm going to talk about Hydrafacial, my very favorite tool, and why so many people consider it not a facial. So stay tuned. All right, everyone, so I just came back from a huge 2-day seminar about Hydrafacial and all new things Hydrafacial. They're relaunching Hydrafacial. So if you've watched my videos in past about Hydrafacial, I'm gonna be redoing a bunch of them. And I'm gonna start with 3 pages of notes on Hydrafacial. So it's really exciting. As you all know, I love Hydrafacial. So let's start first about Hydrafacial and why, in my opinion, it's one of the best facials. If you've ever experienced one, you'll know that it's not really a normal facial. And that's why you'll see a bunch of new branding that's Hydrafacial is not a facial. That is what Hydrafacial is coming around and saying. It's not a facial. And honestly, it's really not. If you look on my menu, I call it a treatment. It's a facial treatment because it's not your usual rubbing and massaging and bunch of goop on your face. It is a facial treatment that makes huge changes in the skin. So that's kind of why it's more of an experience and a treatment, not a facial. So even though Hydrafacial is in the name, it's not a facial. There you go, because it's the first question that people are going to be asking me. So one of the things I learned while I was in this class is that, in my opinion, it's one of the best treatments, and I learned why. So I'm actually gonna pull up my notes for a second because I learned about the background, the history of Hydrafacial and who created it. So, and I want to explain that to you. And if you don't like the history, bump through this for like a minute and a half. All right. So the Hydrafacial machine was patented, and it is, by the way, the only hydrodermal abrasion machine that was patented for like 15 years, and everything else is copied off of their patents. Okay, so it was patented by Roger Ignan and Bill Cohen, and it was the first hydrodermal abrasion machine. It was the first device on the market for many years, and Roger was an engineer, and he worked on microdermal abrasion machines for years, and he actually patented a bunch of them. It was on the cutting edge of microdermal abrasion. But he was standing in the shower one day, and he was like shaving his face in the shower because he's like, I get a much nicer, smoother shave in the shower because the water helps my very delicate skin. And he's like, whoa, I should combine microderm with water because like that would make it so much nicer, because microderm is like really harsh and abrasive, and though these crazy ladies seem to like it, like it's not particularly nice for the skin. And that's hydrodermal abrasion was created. Literally, that's how it got created. Some dude was like, women be crazy, and I hate shaving with like crazy stuff because it makes my skin irritated, but water helps. So hydrodermal abrasion, created. So let's talk about what Hydrafacial is, okay? So what they're about is 3 steps, 30 minutes, best skin of your life. Let's talk about that again. 3 steps, 30 minutes, best skin of your life. So if you've ever had a facial with me in my studio, Soul & Skin Fitness Studio, you know that I don't really do 30-minute facials because like I layer Hydrafacial with lots of other modalities. And Hydrafacial it can be layered with so many other modalities. But at its core, Hydrafacial is 3 steps, 30 minutes, and best skin of your life. All right, so what exactly are those 3 steps? Let's talk about it. First step, cleanse and peel. All right, so what is cleansing and peeling? Well, cleansing is not this kind of cleansing. Assume that's already done. Cleansing is actually the idea that we are gonna remove all the dead surface skin and really like get up in there. All right, so what we're gonna do is we are going to use a chemical exfoliation. So that's the different acids and enzymes we're gonna put on the face with the different serums that we're gonna be using, these acids and enzymes that we're gonna use. And we're gonna be using different tips. Woo, let's see if I can get them used. We're gonna use these different tips to remove dead skin off the surface, okay? Now, the tips have an ablative surface, and that's a fancy word for saying a cutting surface. But unlike microderm, where it just kind of sandblasts the skin and it's like grating the skin, okay? These have a very precise cutting surface, depending on what tip it is. It has a grade of cutting surface, and they're all colored, so like estheticians know in our room, like what the heck we're using in the dark. We don't have to be touching them, making them all dirty. So what we can do with them is we can give you a very precise, as we glide across, we can give you a very precise ablative or cutting surface. Cutting surface. And so we can give you a very smooth, like a razor or a blade. We can give you a precise cutting surface. At the same time, we're going to use a chemical acid, very gentle chemical acid, to remove and digest that dead skin. All right, so we're going to give you two modes of using that cleansing and peeling. All right, so you're using a physical and a chemical together. Very powerful. Next thing is extract and hydrate. So this is when we definitely use also our patented tips. So this is the magic tip right here, our little aquamarine tip. It looks like a little fingertip. It's like the exact same size as my little fingertip, like that. So what we're using in this is there's actually a patented vortex system in that tip, that technology, and it's patented just to Hydrafacial. That spiral design actually allows us to press in different serums. We usually use a salicylic beta hydroxy acid one. We usually put, that now has willow herb, by the way. They just added willow herb. So you're getting double dosing of stuff. So we're pushing in, and if you want to know more about tips or the serums, I do have extra videos on that are not on this one. So we're using the tip, that vortex system, it's pushing down into the pore. And so as it pushes those serums in, we're at the same time pulling up the dirt and debris. So we're flooding the pore. The pore is being flooded with the hydration, flooded with good ingredients, and the old nasty stuff is being pulled and sucked out and pushed out. And if for any reason it doesn't come out, all the good nutrition is sitting in there, and it's sitting there and it's wiggling around, it's being flooded in there. So if in a few days, you know, it starts to break up, that's okay. It'll eventually float to the surface and leave. And that's why hydrofacials are so beneficial to you later. All right. So the next set is fuse and protect. So that's 3. Okay. The third step is fuse and protect. So this is the part that if you get a basic, what they consider a signature Hydrafacial, you're probably going to only get part of this. So you're still going to have fusing and protecting, but we can use these things called boosters, and we can actually stick them in the base of our hand, our little hand device that we actually put all of our tips and everything on. So what's really nice about those is these boosters can be customized to like kind of meet your needs and solve issues, like major issues. And they're amazing, and Hydrafacial is coming out with a bunch of new ones. I got to see and touch and feel a bunch of the new ones that are coming out in the next few months. But we've always had some. So my favorite one is currently, I use a CTGF, which are growth factors, stem cells, and it's amazing. We also have one called Derma Builder, which helps lines and wrinkles. But I won't go into those now because I have an entire video on those. So we can use those boosters, and we can customize those to really help treat targeted problems and skin conditions. But we also have 2 different serums that we can use at the end that are designed specifically to lock in everything we've just done to you, and then fuse and protect everything that we might also have put on you. And that is designed to like super hydrate the skin, really protect and keep it healthy and healing. And what's great about all of that is that it actually, over time, this treatment protocol will hydrate the skin, heal the skin, and actually thicken up the dermis. It will actually thicken up the skin, it will hydrate and heal it. And they have actually done research, Hydrafacial actually done research to prove that what I already knew, because if you've watched any of my previous videos of like 3 years ago when I was like, I'm going into Hydrafacial all the time, because when Hydrafacial changed up their serums and they're like, we play well with others now, I was like, all Hydrafacial all the time, people. I discovered that with Hydrafacial, when you layer on different modalities and it plays well with others, my clients had such better results and they looked better longer. So they did research and they did studies and clinical trials, and they're like, hey, our clinical trials have proven what Sybil already knows, and so do her clients, is that long-term clients actually reverse damage of aging. They reverse pigmentation, they reverse scar tissue, and they look better longer, and they get better results. So it's important to realize that the 3 steps, 30 minutes, and best skin of your life, it's not a slogan, it's not bogus, it's 100% true. They have clinical trials to prove it. Now, you put stuff on top of it, you do different modalities, because you can add to it microcurrent, you can do microchanneling, you can do, what else do I do with mine? I do, so I do microcurrent, microchanneling, oh gosh, I do so many things with mine. You can do lymphatic massage, which I do almost all of them. I do microcurrent lymphatic massage. You can add PRP, which are vampire facials, which I don't do, but lots of people do. I mean, red light, you can do LED. There's so many other things that you can do with it, which boost the power, which then add more power to that Hydrafacial. So although that 30 minutes can get to a longer facial because you're adding more things to it, it just adds to the power of the Hydrafacial. All right, so they just like to talk about 30 minutes, but there's so much more you can do, so much more power. So the 2 weeks doesn't matter. The 2 weeks in the sense of it lasts in the skin. Whatever modalities you do, you're gonna get probably 2 weeks regardless, okay? So it matters in the sense that it's amazing you get 2 weeks, whereas most facials last in the skin for 3 days. And even if I do it, and I'm an amazing esthetician, you're gonna get 3 days for most basic facials. Hydrafacial though will stretch almost any facial 2 weeks because the stuff is deeply in there. All right, so let's talk about what really happens with the end of the Hydrafacial, because people always ask me, so what happened at the end of this Hydrafacial? Well, you had deeply washed pores, so it was like a power wash. Those pores were deeply washed, they had, all the gunk was coming out. You're gonna look much cleaner. You're gonna look way brighter because we've removed a bunch of dead skin, okay? And we've got a bunch of new antioxidants, and hopefully you got the boosters, and so we have targeted stuff to fix it, all right? And the other thing that's going to happen is that you are going to seriously, hopefully, start looking nicer because you're doing them more often. And then you're going to also just like feel better, and because you look better. So that's kind of what happens. You get like a skin detail instead of just like, I got a facial. You're going to be like, for a couple weeks, you're going to be like, I got a facial, I got a facial, that kind of thing. So major questions. I asked people what the questions they had about Hydrafacial, and this is what I got back. Who are Hydrafacials good for? Hydrafacials are good for any skin type. Absolutely anyone. I can customize it for any kind of skin. It doesn't matter what kind of skin you have, you can get it customized. Okay, how can I get one? Well, you can find a Hydrafacial provider. You can go to the Hydrafacial website and they have a searcher and you can find it. Also, search Hydrafacial on Google and you can find them. How often can I get one? Well, you can have one up to every week, and when I do packages for people, I often see them every week because that's the fastest you can get change because they build up in the skin. So you can get really fast change if you get them every week. A lot of clients, because they do last in the skin for 2 weeks, decide they'd like to stretch them out to like every 10 days to 2 weeks because it's hard to get in every week, okay? We all know time is of, priority these days. And then once you've done like a series of them, every month is great. As I said, Hydrafacial did an entire clinical trial, and they found that monthly Hydrafacials are bomb, and they're perfectly fine because they did a clinical trial on monthly Hydrafacials. All right, they tracked people for a year, and they were perfectly fine with a month. Are there any contraindications? So people who are allergic to shellfish and who are allergic to aspirin, aka salicylic acid, I patch test just to be on the safe side, but because it's not like true, it's synthetic, I've never had a reaction because it's not like an organic product of it, but I still patch test for it because you'd hate to be that one person who like blows up in a treatment room. Okay, so shellfish, salicylic acid, aka aspirin, all right? Do men like these? Are they good for men? Yeah. What if they're wearing full beards? Yeah, even then, it's awesome because you can really get it in there. It can really get in there with the wand. You can really get it up in there. And men freaking love Hydrafacials. Painless extractions, people. And it's a machine that sounds like like a motorcycle rumbling. It's like brrr, brrr. Men love Hydrafacials. Can you do it anywhere else in the body? Yeah, I do them on backs and butts all the time. It's amazing in that area. I've also started doing hands. People love hands, and it's a great prep for tattoos. So I have a lot of clients who get tattoos, and there's two things I do for tattoos. One is I prep the area with a Hydrafacial before they go get a tattoo, because you'll get longer lasting color and a better result with a Hydrafacial beforehand, because it really just preps the skin. It keeps it ultra hydrated. You don't have any dead skin. And then I sugar it monthly to keep that color really beautiful, and salt scrub treatments at home that I give you for at home. So those are the things I do for tattoos, a little bonus information there. Do you have any other videos? Yes, I do. I do have lots of other videos, and I'll add them here as links. So that's pretty much all the information I have currently on this particular Hydrafacials. Hopefully it was helpful. If you love Hydrafacials, please comment. If you have any questions on Hydrafacial, please comment. And I do have a little bonus here. So if you're in the Los Angeles area for any reason, I am located in Burbank, California, and I love Hydrafacial so much, and I love to meet new Hydrafacial fans. I know I'm really hard to get on my books sometimes, but I will offer anybody who's a new client coming in, who's never experienced Hydrafacials with me, $50 off their very first Hydrafacial experience with me. And that includes my current clients currently watching this who have not tried my new menu items. I'm launching my Hydrafacials again. So, all right, I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.